It was supposed to be just another summer night. But what happened in that cornfield still keeps me up. I've never told anyone this. Until now. I was 19 that summer. It was the July 4th weekend in rural Illinois. My friends, Jared and Mikey, had this tradition, midnight dares. That night, after some beers, Jared said, "Let's do the cornfield dare." Now, this wasn't just any cornfield. It belonged to Old Man Haskell. People said he was insane, that his only son had died in a tractor fire years ago. Since then, he rarely left his house. Some kids swore they saw him walking the fields at night, shirtless, holding a scythe. The dare was simple: walk through the cornfield, from one side to the other, alone, at midnight, no phone, no flashlight, just walk straight and come out the other end. And like an idiot, I said yes. The field wasn't huge, maybe a quarter-mile wide, but when I stepped inside, it felt endless. The corn was taller than me, about 6 to 7 feet. 10 steps in, and I couldn't see the road anymore. The world behind me just vanished. The stalks blocked out everything: sound, light, even the breeze. I felt completely cut off. Alone. I kept walking. The soil was dry and cracked under my sneakers. Bugs buzzed around my ears. I tried to stay calm, reminding myself it was just a field. Then I heard it. Snap. Like a corn stalk breaking behind me. I stopped. Held my breath. Nothing. Probably an animal, I thought. I kept walking. Snap. Closer. I turned. Jared? Mikey? I whispered. Silence. And then I saw him. About 20 feet to my right, half hidden between the stalks. Just standing. Still. Tall. Bare-chested. Pale. His head tilted slightly, like he was listening. He didn't move. I wanted to believe it was my imagination. A shadow, a trick of the moonlight. But then he took a step forward. I ran. No plan. No direction. I just ran through the corn, pushing stalks aside, cutting my arms and face. My heart slammed in my chest. But I could hear him behind me. He wasn't running. He was walking, calmly, like he knew I'd wear myself out, like he had all the time in the world. I tripped and fell once, got back up, kept running. At some point I stopped and listened. Silence. No steps. No breathing. I crouched low, trying to catch my breath. Then I heard rustling. Not in front. Not behind. To the side. Closer. I held my breath. The corn shifted slowly, just a few feet away. Then nothing. I leaned forward slightly and parted the stalks. Nothing. And then I looked up, and I saw his face, above the corn, peering over it, watching me. His eyes were wide, unblinking, his mouth slightly open like he was enjoying this, like it was a game. I screamed, louder than I ever had in my life, and I ran again. Branches tore into my arms. Blood dripped down my legs. I didn't stop. I pushed through like a wild animal until I burst out onto the road, collapsed to the ground. Headlights. Jared and Mikey in Mikey's pickup, about to come look for me. They ran out. Their smiles dropped when they saw me. Shaking, bleeding, wide-eyed. "There's a man in there," I gasped. He was watching me. We called the cops. They searched the field. Found nothing. No footprints. No broken corn. No shirtless man. They said maybe I'd seen a scarecrow, or had a panic attack. Maybe I'd been drinking too much. The heat, the dark, the stories. I knew what I saw. A week later, Mikey's dog went missing. We found its body in the cornfield. It had been tied up with corn husks. Its ribs were broken. Its eyes were gone, and shaved into its fur. Clear as day were 2 words. "You screamed." After that, we stopped talking about it. I moved away that summer, but every July, I dream about that cornfield. And in the dream, I'm always lost. And he's always there, just out of sight, waiting for me to scream. Last summer, me and 2 of my coworkers went on a weekend camping trip. We'd been working remotely for a company based in Portland, Oregon, and after a stressful project, we decided to escape into the woods. No phones, no laptops, just beer, tents, and nature. The spot we picked was remote, near a river, dense forest all around. No other campers for miles. We hiked about 2 hours off-trail just to make sure we were completely alone. There were 3 of us, me, Caleb, and Jenny. We set up 2 tents, one for them, one for me, right near the tree line. The day was perfect. We swam, made a fire, cooked, and relaxed. But that night, everything changed. It was sometime after 2 a.m. when I first heard it. A scream, not human. It came from deep in the woods, high-pitched, raspy, short, like someone being choked while trying to scream for help. It lasted maybe 2 seconds, then silence. I thought it was an animal, maybe a fox, but it didn't sound natural. The strange part? Jenny and Caleb didn't wake up. Or if they did, they didn't say anything. I stayed in my tent, staring at the zipper. Then, 10 minutes later, another scream. This time, it came from much closer, right at the edge of the trees. I peeked out of my tent and saw nothing at first. But then I noticed movement, a figure, tall, thin, barefoot, standing beside Caleb and Jenny's tent, just leaning forward, looking at it, not moving. I felt frozen. I zipped up the tent and backed away, grabbing the knife I kept near my sleeping bag. I waited, barely breathing. When I looked out again, the figure was gone. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next day, I didn't tell Caleb or Jenny. I didn't want to freak them out, but I couldn't stop thinking about what I saw. That night, around 1:45 a.m., I woke up to a whisper. It was outside my tent. A man's voice, dry, hoarse. I couldn't understand what he was saying, but he was right outside. I could hear breathing, wet, heavy, then scratching, right against the side of my tent. Slow, fingernail-like. I didn't move. Then the scream again, but this time it came from directly above my tent, like something was standing on top of it. I unzipped the tent in a panic and crawled out, but when I looked up, no one was there. But Caleb and Jenny's tent had been slashed open, torn apart like something clawed through it, and they were gone. I screamed their names, ran toward the trail. Eventually I reached our car. My phone had 1 bar of signal and I called 911. The cops came hours later. Search dogs, helicopters, but they found nothing. No blood, no tracks, no sign of Caleb or Jenny, just that torn tent. A week later, about 10 miles from our site, park rangers found an old, decaying tent hidden under moss. Inside were clothes, a rusted camera, and gear from the early 90s. The camera had photos of a couple,